Hi guys and welcome to another video on this channel. Today it's my team career mode season 3 round 3 for the Chinese Grand Prix. And last season we had a pretty good race here. To be fair, the AI were glitched and were, I think, like 13 seconds off our pace, and we lapped pretty much everyone and won the race with the fastest lap. So let's see, maybe it happens again. Would be good for the constructor standings, but to be honest, not really. It wouldn't be really fair. So let's see what happens today. And like I said, it would be good for the constructor standings, but not really good for the entertainment and the fairness. So yeah, let's just see what happens. As we got a facility upgrade for the engine facilities, and we're spec 2 on the engine side now. And we get the normal stupid decision to choose our rival again. It just doesn't make any sense to pick a rival who is in the fastest or second fastest car when we are in the third slowest car, and we don't get any choice for a rival with a car with the performance just around us where we are. We just get rivals from the 2 best cars to pick from. So yeah, I don't know, it's just stupid. And as you could see there in the weather forecast, it will be heavy rain for the race, and it will maybe dry up at the end. So it could be a full wet to intermediates to slicks race, and that would be very interesting. So hopefully the AI aren't glitched this time, and hopefully we can get an entertaining race. But first of all, we have to do qualifying, so let's go for that. And we go to our first lap, and the first corner is so tricky. I think I didn't get it right a single time on this race weekend. It's just so tricky where you have to turn in and where you have to brake, and it's just not that easy. And this corner fully flat out, and again a really tricky right-hander. I often don't know where to brake and how hard to brake, so it's pretty tough. And pretty much the whole lap is really hard to get right. This corner as well. You really don't know how much you can get on the throttle without spinning the car around. And it's just It's really hard to get the lap right around here. And then the last corner as well. I mean, if you get the turn in right, it's pretty easy, but it's so hard to get the turn in right.
Okay, we don't think we're far away from rain now. I'll keep you updated as conditions change.
And then as I wanted to start the second lap, I spun through the last corner, and that's pretty much the lap ruined. I mean, we are already 1 second off. So I mean, we would have to find a whole second to improve even a little bit on our time, and that's just ridiculous. But I tried anyways, and then a moment of oversteer in turn 10 as well, so that's costing us even more time. And then almost spun it in turn 13 as well. So yeah, it's really not easy to get this lap right, and I didn't get it right. And I decided to go for another lap in a row. And again, I completely missed the apex at turn 1. But I got it pretty good into turn 2 and 3. And we're 3/10 up already. And then into turn 5, we get a good rotation, gained 6/10. And even though the first corner was so bad, I mean, the first corner was bad in every lap, so that's probably the reason why we still gained so much time. And then again, a little moment of oversteer through turn 10 cost us 2/10 again. And then turn 13 we spun it, and that's our lap done. And then as we went out again for our final lap, it started raining, so we're gonna lose so much time, and it's not even worth trying to put a lap in. So I decided to abort the lap, and that means we're gonna start in P22.
The Chinese Grand Prix then is upon us once again. It's a race that saw Michael Schumacher claim his final Formula One victory in 2006, as well as Red Bull's first win with Sebastian Vettel in 2009. There's no doubt there's plenty more drama to come here in Shanghai. The ever-tightening turns of 1 and 2 will prove tricky in the slippery conditions here in Shanghai, and anyone that slides wide will lose a lot of time getting back on track. Turn 14 should still be the best place for overtaking, but we'll have to see some improvements in the weather before the drivers can take advantage of that DRS assistance. It's time to take a look at our starting grid for today's race. Lando Norris will lead us away from pole position, and Fernando Alonso completes the front row. As we continue through the rest of the grid today, we have Gasly, Zhou, Stroll, Ocon, Albon, Bottas, Fittipaldi, Helga, Verstappen, Leclerc, Sainz, Oscar Piastri, Russell, Hamilton, Sargent, Magnussen, Tsunoda, Doohan, De Vries, and the owner driver rounds off the grid. With preparations almost complete, let's head the track. Well, it's not going to be plain sailing for our drivers today, although with the sky falling as it is, perhaps sailing isn't too far from the truth. Anthony Davidson, could be a wet one today. Great to have you with us. What are your thoughts?
It is a touch damp, isn't it? Well, as a driver, there are three big things to worry about when racing in these kind of conditions: standing water, tyre temperature and visibility. Judging distance to the cars around you is really tricky when you're driving through the vast amounts of spray that these wet weather Pirelli tyres kick up.
And as you can see, even though it's heavy rain and the track is really, really wet, it's intermediate, and I'm already not good in the rain. Even if I have the right tire, and I really don't think the intermediate is the right tire for these conditions. So that's gonna be really hard for me. I mean, there's so much spray you don't even see much. And then into turn 1 we almost DNF already, because I almost went into the back of the Haas, and then as I only touched the brake, I didn't even really put much brake pressure on it. I barely touched the brake and already the rear came round. So that's gonna be really hard. I mean, like I said, I'm not good in the wet. And then in full wet conditions on the intermediate tire, there's no chance. I'm probably way under the limit, but I felt like I was spinning in like every turn, and was just so hard to get anything right. And then into turn 11 we broke our front wing, because I just couldn't slow down the car enough, and I accidentally hit the freeze. And that I was on the brake, and I felt like I was almost spinning the car around, and I couldn't slow it down, and it's just, maybe I need to practice more in the wet, but I didn't really have car control in this race. I mean, it's not the right tire, like I said, but I think I definitely need to practice in the wet as well. So that's definitely important that I do that, because otherwise I will just be last in every wet race, and that would not be helping us. And then as we come out of the pits we have 30 seconds gap, and like the last time the recording was really bugged at this point, so I'll just show you a replay of what happened then on lap 6. Turn 10, at the exit I lost control of the car and DNF'd out of the race. So yeah, that's not a good finish for another race. 2 DNFs out of 3 races in season 3, and that's really not good.
What do you think it was today, Ant, that gave them the edge over the competition?
Well, keeping their tyre temperatures up in the tricky wet conditions was really important. There's not much grip out there at the best of times, and it's 10 times worse if you're out there on cold tyres. So the way they kept the rubber in its proper operating window was a huge advantage today.
Aston Martin's performance today has shown that they can be competitive with the biggest names in the sport. They're making their way out to the podium as we speak, and the reaction from the crowd must be incredibly uplifting for them.
So in the end, Alonso won the race and he's leading the championship. He's reigning world champion and now he's leading again. So maybe back-to-back championships. But we will see about that. We have 13 rounds to go, so there's pretty much time to turn that around. But for us, it's again 0 points, which is pretty annoying. But we will have to deal with it. Another DNF for us, which is really hurting me. But we will see how it goes on this season. So see you guys next time. Goodbye.